There's a lot of tanks that I hate going up against in World of Tanks. And honestly, out of all the tier 10s that I find cringe to fight, the tier 9 Italian Tech Tree Tank Destroyer, the Contra Caro 1 Mark II, is probably at the top of the list. This tier 9 legitimately has better armor than the tier 10 Minnow, especially after the nerfs to the Minnow's hatch. Now, the Minnow is still a beast, and I think it is one of not only the best beginner-friendly tanks, but still one of the scariest haul-down vehicles to fight in the game. But the Contra Caro 1 Mark II takes that a whole step higher. You see, Wargaming nerfed the Minnow's hatch, and they nerfed the Contra Caro's hull. But in return, they buffed its on-movement dispersion, and the turret stayed the same. So this is what the Contra Caro with 325 mils of heat looks like. Noticing a problem here? Yeah, there's a lack of weak spot on the roof. In fact, these little spots here are not weaknesses. Like, yes, there is a tiny, tiny position right there that you can pen. But good luck hitting that, especially when this vehicle is using its 10 to 9 degrees of gun depression we can see here. And because of the way the turret is angled at, it's actually more than 9 degrees. It's more about 13 degrees. So this is what a Contra Caro 1 Mark II looks like with average tier 10 heat pen. Hull down. Where do you pen it? This is 340, and it goes upwards of 400 to 500 millimeters thick with no hatch whatsoever. This is why I personally find it very hard to deal with the tank. The only weak spot is the mantlet, and it's still about 320 to 30 millimeters thick. Against tier 8s, it's ridiculously overpowered. Even against tier 10s, it's still super strong. Especially when you realize it has 500 damage per shot, it has a 4-shell clip, it has 2600 DPM, making it pretty reliable in most situations you play it. I personally don't see much of a weak spot to deal with this tank. Now, yes, it's kind of slow. I am running a turbo on it to make it a bit faster, but I don't really see that as much of a downside when you have everything else going for you. We're going to see just what the Contra Caro can do in some gameplay here, obviously. Here we are on Paris, which is an alright map. We've got a decent matchup, some tier 8s, some tier 9s, and only a few tier 10s, being a Minnow, 121 being a mouse. Now, because I do have a mouse, I'm going to start this game by loading a gold clip. I do have intuition trained on this because it's not an auto reloader, which is obviously quite rare for the Italian-style vehicles. Let me set it to... Oh, hopefully my... there you go. I was going to say hopefully my display capture picks up the game. You guys like seeing the mini-map, so I have a scene set up for that. Alright, well, we are going to head over to the heavy flank because this is a heavily armored vehicle after all. And something you'll notice is that it's not actually that slow. It only reaches 35 even with an experimental turbo, but it's not slow, especially for the power to weight. It's actually a fairly maneuverable vehicle. It also does have a semi-traversable turret, meaning that you have decent on-movement dispersion. We do get spotted in the crossing, but we were still able to get across fast enough to not worry about being shot. So what's going on here? Well, we can see the enemy EBR, and we can see all the rest of the enemy team. We are just going to simply cross this, hopefully not bleed anything in the crossing. Okay, we're all good. And we're going to move right over here. And this should be where we are able to chill. So we could wait kind of where our 7032 is on this kind of position. See if anybody pokes. Could also try and work hull down a bit, but we'll see what happens here. We will see. So far, I'm not entirely too worried. There's the enemy Centurion. Nice 507. You can see that stupid good alpha damage of this vehicle just chunking away enemy HP. And, well, you know what? If you want to poke, there you go. 474 off you. I mean, we got this little tiny bush here, this tree, and it's actually giving me the camo values that I do need, which is kind of funny when you think about it. So, we are detected due to close combat. We have the enemy... Oh, bruh, this player... There you go. 504 into the enemy. And we're up to 1,500 damage already. Let's reload one more time. Oh, yeah, 527. So just like that, we got shot once, and in return, we've dealt 2,000 damage. Alright, well, I will try and help out the Centurion. I'm on reload, though, so I gotta wait 10 seconds before I can help anybody out here. And 3, 2, 1... Oh, look, our minnow finally noticed what was going on as well. All right, well, I'm going to move up, and we'll see what exactly we can do to help out with this mouse. There you go, 569 into his tank. You can see the DPM on this vehicle is not bad, and while the mouse does pen me, he gets shot back for another 530, and we should out-reload the mouse because we are a pretty solid DPM tank at that, so... There you go, 474 into the mouse, we back up, we reload again. I don't think the mouse is very happy with me, to be honest. And there you go. Now he's dead, so we don't even need to worry about him at all. All right, well, we have the AT in the back, and I'm just going to reload the clip at this point. There's no reason to do otherwise. I mean, I could have shot the AT, but it doesn't matter. We just reload. At this point, we've done really everything we've needed to anyway, so we're just going to move up ever so slightly here. There you go. Player's gone. And we reload. Perfect. All right, now we have our shells. We have the enemy minnow in the back, and with the armor this vehicle features, I don't really think there's much that minnow can do to me. We have the IS-32. Oh, he's dead. Let's see if I can get a shell into you. There you go. 460 damage. Easy. Looks like that minnow's on reload, which means I can move up myself. Let's see. Just going to keep moving up, keep moving up. We're already up to 4,000 damage, and let's see. We got the Centurion right here, aiming, aiming, and bonk, 501. Centurion's obviously a goner. We got the minnow right in front of me, aiming. Bruh. Okay, well, we missed that shot. That's more because my ST2 went in front of me, though, which is a little annoying. All right, let's aim it on you, and bonk. Nice, 516 into the enemy minnow. I mean, I've already dealt 5,000 damage this game. What else do I need to say about this tank? We weren't even using it hull down. Like, the gun is surprisingly accurate on the Contra Caro 1 Mark II. We're sitting at 0.33 dispersion, meaning that we can actually hit most of the shots that we aim. And when you pair this decent accuracy with 500 damage per shot, as I mentioned before, it's kind of wild. We got a 494 into the enemy Grom, and there's only one tank left, which is the Blesk, who is all the way in the back corner here. Are we going to be able to do any damage to him? Well, we're going to find out. Aiming, aiming, aiming. Bonk. Yeah! 484 into his tank. That puts us at 6,000 damage and an incredibly easy result for the Contra Caro 1 Mark II. But this is why I find the tank so stupid. First of all, I think autoloaders are just flat better than single shots in most situations, because, for example, that mouse, tier 10, has 3,000 health, but my heat goes right through. Not only that, but while the mouse does have decent DPM, respectively, I have more DPM because I have an 8-second reload for 500 damage per shot. And when you pair that with the level of hull down capabilities and everything else that the Contra Caro features, it's just a stupid tank. It really is. I mean, we easily did top on the team there. Not even a single sweat broken. I personally believe that the Contra Caro 1 Mark II is just the strongest tier 9 in the game. I think it's the most brain dead tier 9, and I think it needs to be nerfed. Wargaming needs to give this tank some sort of hatch. I don't know if they want to raise, let me set it to display capture so you can see where my mouse is, but I don't know if they could raise this here. The problem is, I mean, you saw exactly what the problem is. This is the problem. This is what enemy tanks see. Like, let me put that up against a tier 10 tank destroyer. How about we do a 114 SP2 and we load gold? This is what a 114 SP2 sees. Pretend that, you know, we'll do the good old quickie baby tactic here. Pretend I pull out my calculator, right? And this is what you see. Where do you pen it? Like, yes, you could go through the mantlet, but apart from that, which most people aren't going to shoot at, where do you pen the tank? And that's the problem that I see, and it's not just like a 114. How about a Yag? This is the most heat pen into your 10. Yes, the Yag can cut through, but these spots are upwards of 400 thick. In my opinion, this tank has too much armor, and I seriously do believe that it's one of the most cringe tanks to fight on a ridgeline. It's one of the most annoying tanks to fight in general due to the level of effective armor it has when played. I mean, that was the easiest game I've had in a while, and just easy farms. The reload of 22 seconds, yeah, it's a while, but because you get 4 shells with an 8-second interclip in between each, it means that you have 32 seconds of shooting before you have to reload for 22 seconds. So it's not that big of a deal. The accuracy is not bad, as you can see. The aiming time, it's not great, but as long as you have a little bit of time to aim in, you're completely fine. And mobility-wise, I didn't really notice much of a problem there. I mean, we chilled at a top speed of 35, and yeah, everything felt fine. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this vehicle, but I think the Contra Caro 1 Mark II is a little stupid. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.